You want to see what Pinyon Ridge looks like from Highway 2? There it is. Get a view of Pinyon Ridge here. It is a dead end, and really it is not a dead end, but it has a fire break that goes down the other side. In desperation, if you had to, you could. But the road is a couple miles long at least, and an interesting ride nonetheless. So you can see it there. Out there in the distance is, hopefully you can see it, the edge of the Devil's Punch Bowl. So, alright, I see some snow blossoms there. Okay. Now we're going to go up 4N56. It's a pretty steep climb up and a turn to the left. Okay, so this is Pinyon Ridge at the base. We're at the saddle. That way is Jackson Lake. We'll go that way out, but right now we're going to go up here. Alright, we're on top of Pinyon Ridge. Now, because there are 6, maybe even 7 guzzlers, I don't know where the 7th one is, but I heard there are 7. I think it's right here at the entrance somewhere. There's a lot of wildlife up here. Maybe we can see some of it as we pass through. Looks like somebody's been taking out some brush, probably to protect this place from the fire when the Bobcat Fire came up. Hopefully none of it got burned. I don't see anything burnt, but I see a lot of the ground covering ripped up, which is pretty cool. Help preserve this place. I've seen deer, mountain lion, bobcats, bear, every creature practically we have in this mountain range on this ridge. And it's probably because of the water. A guzzler is a man-made water tank that they come up, put water in, and then there's a waterer that they can come up and get. Matter of fact, there's one that's relatively close. We can get pretty close to it on riding, and then we'll get out and take a look at it. At one of them. They're pretty, but it's a little ways up the trail here, and a side road off the side. We were on that road over there. You can see it, the Highway 2. Not that part of it, but to pick up Vincent Gap. And our road is over on the other side over there, which we came down to get to here. I'm glad they cut up this brush and cleared this ground. Even the road's clear, because usually when you come in the spring, you're moving trees off the road. Winds can get pretty vicious up here. And we just might see some wildlife. some pretty good campgrounds or campsites up here. Obviously there's not a fee, it's backcountry camping. Stars are pretty good from here. That probably is going to have to be edited. Watch those ruts over there. Yeah. I was looking at the fire and went into them. Yeah, we had fire here. Right. Looks like it burned the north side of the ridge from the Bobcat Fire. Helicopter landing spot, obviously. Let's go. We're going to take a side road here. Maybe not. All right. Yep. No, I probably should. Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea because I bend over a lot. Where are you at? Well, the fire's obviously reached the north side of the ridge. I just don't see any frost check. Alright, now. Yep. This is where we'll go. Now we'll take a little offshoot. Let's see here. We're gonna go back and park the bikes over there, and let's see if we can find a guzzler. Whew. All right, we're gonna see if we can locate this guzzler. It's around here somewhere. So we can see, so you know what it is if you don't already. Now I know some of you know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to a guzzler. And some of you don't. So I'm gonna show you a guzzler because there's at least 6 on Pinyon Ridge here, maybe 7. Now I am in a burn area. You can see the lines like right here. You can see the green over there, and you can see where it's burnt here. And we'll get Oliver up and get a little better view from above. But right now, this down here is a guzzler. Now this is put in by man, obviously. But it's put in by man for the benefit of wildlife, so that the animals can have something to drink during times of drought, when the streams dry up. Now, I'm going to take a quick walk around this. Try not to get too much of this burned tree soot on myself. And look in here. First I want to make sure I can get in there and out of there safely. This thing is taking some heat and I don't see any water in there. But I can still use this as an example to show you how this works. Now, there are two types of guzzlers. One type is the type, and they're not necessarily a true guzzler, but they're the type that water pressure is put to them. They're on a well or a water tank, and so they have a constant feed of water when it goes low. You can see down there, that is where the larger animals drink from, and I'll go down there and look at that a little bit better in a minute. But this type is more of a self-sustaining guzzler. So what happens is the rain or the snow comes down on this roof right here, and then as the snow melts or the water drains, it drains down here in the back, goes downhill the slope, and goes into this trough. Now you can see that there is a pipe right here, a drain pipe, and somebody's tied a bag to it, but it goes down into this guzzler tank, this holding tank. Let me get back over here. Now this thing took some heat, so it's somewhat melted. It's actually much nicer than this. It may have even caught fire. But there's this fiberglass top on there, and the water goes down that drain pipe into here, and it holds this water. Now, smaller animals who can get their head in there can get in there and drink, but oftentimes they close this off so animals can't get in there, so they don't get stuck in there and die in there. And with the water, it comes out here. Now this is the real magic and the real cool part about this, because it's not just providing water, but it's being efficient, because that roof not only serves as something that the snow and the rain collects on and goes into the tank, but it also keeps the sun off that tank so that it helps minimize the evaporation. Now this is where the animals come and drink. And pull back a little bit. So this would fill up with water, not really full. You can actually see where the water level is. It's right in here. You can see the lines there where the water level is, and they'll drink. Now as the water goes down, it fills back up to this point. It will keep itself level. How cool is that? This is a guzzler. This is a self-sustaining guzzler. Now, great times of dire straits, I'm not referring to the rock band, but times when there is just no water, a lot of times volunteers will come up here and bring water and put water in this guzzler. Now what do they have to do to that? Pour it on the roof. It'll flow down into the tank via the gutter in the back. Or if they bring a water truck, they can put the hose in there. Not everything that mankind does is good for nature. But not everything that mankind does is bad for nature either. This is a good thing, and it works. Now, when you look at this fire, this tree is an example. This tree is dead. It's not going to recover. And these pinyon pines that you see here, see these trees over there? Those are pinyon pines. See that tree down there? That's a pinyon pine. They take at least 30 years to grow. They take a long time. They're not just a pine tree that sprouts up and just grows fast. These things take forever to grow. But they can grow in a harsh environment. See if we can't get a somewhat of a visual of where everything is. Over there on Pinyon Ridge area there, the road continues down. It ends right over in there. There's a flat spot. Well, I hope this wind stops so I can get Oliver up. Down over there in those rocks is the Devil's Punch Bowl. You can see how the fire came down this way towards us. Came from over there and worked its way this way. There are patches. That hillside on the left is brown, the one on the right is, for the most part, most of it is green. I'm gonna try and film Oliver taking off. I'll do my best I can. The wind is still pretty bad. So I don't know if you can see him up there, but he's up there and he's coming back. And he actually does a pretty good job of landing where he takes off. In the auto land mode, they're supposed to land exactly where they took off, so we're real close to it. So he's always within a few feet. Right now, as he's descending, the wind's blowing him around, so he's making adjustments on his descent. see where he took off from. The wind's blowing him around a little bit. Now, as you look at some of the work done by the heavy equipment during the Bobcat Fire up here, you're going to see some of the areas that were burned. Fortunately, a lot of this did not burn. Greater majority of it, but quite a bit did. And I want you to see something over here. It's interesting because I'm thinking that this is probably something that's for a helicopter landing or some sort of symbol. This red ribbon here was for something. You can see some of the stuff that's burned up through there. Life right after the fire. If the wind will let me catch these things. What's cool is, because the sun's over there, I seriously doubt you're going to see too much. But there were a couple deer over there, healthy deer, eating the green grass as I pulled up, but they got out of the way faster than I could react. So, how cool is that?